Candace, the shield of the desert. I don't know, maybe it's because she's gonna be the only shield character of the desert in Sumeru. Now, talking about holding a shield. Today we're gonna be having a video looking in depth into the skill and kit of Candace as well as her potential as the character. Because throughout the past couple of weeks, there have been a lot of saying on how Candace is a really good character, in which we're gonna be talking about why she is an amazing character, but there's also some caveat into her gameplay. Now guys, patch 3.1 is basically almost here, and in collaboration with Primogems Bargain, we're doing a 6,480 Primogems pack giveaway once patch 3.1 drops, to help you get a better chance of winning the character that you like. So if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and join my Discord server to enter the giveaway once 3.1 drops. And so with that guys, let's just hop into the video. Now a huge disclaimer guys is that first of all, the current information at this point in time is still not official as Candace is not released yet. Therefore, any information that is discussed in this video can be subjected to change, and also any of the analysis done on Candace is based on my personal opinion. It could be a lot different once Candace comes out, so just take everything I say here in this video with a grain of salt. So regarding Candace skills and talents, she'll be having bonus HP on her ascension level because she is gonna be basically a fully HP equipped character. Now something to notice is that she has pretty good normal attack scaling. Compared to some of the other, main polearm DPS character, the scaling is actually a little bit higher than them. So this actually makes her a pretty potential DPS if you do want to build her so. For her E skills, she works basically similar to other shielded character, with if you tap, she will rush forward with a shield dealing hydro damage, but you're almost never going to be using this, so her hold option is what you'll be using, and it works similar to how other shield character goes. But what sets Candace apart to other character is how her bursts work, which is basically when she uses her burst, she's gonna be dealing AoE hydro damage based on her max HP, and continuously gives your active character the following buff, which is first, they deal an extra 20% elemental damage with their normal attack, and whenever you switch a character, a wave of hydro damage will deal to nearby opponents with the maximum number of 3 waves. And then what's most unique here is that there will be hydro infusion with Candace onto any sword, claymore and polearm wielders. So her burst here is gonna make her an interesting support, but with hydro infusion she's gonna be creating some unique gameplay to some character, allowing them to deal hydro damage. Her first passive talent basically gives her E an instant finish charging if she get hits during her whole duration, and then her passive 2 is really good in that her burst will give the active character a 0.5% damage increase based on every 1000 points of max HP Candace have when that character deals a normal attack with elemental damage. So basically a no more elemental attack buff. And for example, if Candace were to be having around 40,000 HP, she will be giving the active character an extra 20% damage increase. So overall, we're going to be seeing that Candace loves HP stats. The more HP she gets and the more burst uptime she's able to do, she is set to go. So those are some really interesting buff, because first of all, we've not have any hydro infusion character before, so this will for sure open up team comps that we have never experienced before, which is a refreshing experience to the game. But any kit that have the potential to boost your damage of the team can have the potential to be used more frequently. Now before we analyze further into Candace's potential, I want to go through a constellation first, as they have pretty significant changes into her gameplay, and many of us are going to get at least 1 or 2 copies of her during the banners pool. So her C1 is basically going to be her best because it extends her burst duration by another 3 seconds, which is a total of 12 seconds on top of a 15-second cooldown. Technically a 3-second cooldown for Candace burst then, and that is really good. C2 is that whenever her E skill hits the opponent, her max HP is increased for 20% for 15 seconds, so now you always want to use her E skill at least before her burst, and this buff activation is basically all of her burst duration as well. So her C1 and C2 is kind of something that you want to go for. Of course, it's not always a must that you have to force yourself to get these constellations, but getting these two will give Candace a much better quality of life. Her C4 shortened her E skill cooldown as much as her tap would, so this wouldn't really be too much useful useful if she's not on the field constantly or she is a support character, so I would say this comes down to more of a DPS type Candace. Her C6 gives that whenever the active character deals elemental damage on their normal attack, there will be a wave that unleash AoE hydro damage, dealing 15% of Candace max HP once every 2.3 seconds. And it is considered as elemental burst damage from Candace, which is pretty good off-field damage, especially if you're running a support HP Candace, because obviously this can't be used on a DPS Candace. And if you're just stacking HP onto Candace, you will be able to make use of her C6 really well. So those are the things that Candace can do, which is really good, I would say, as there are basically very limited character in the game right now that can do what she can with her burst. However, on top of all the potential that Candace can do, there's one, I would say, quite big problem that may stop many players from actually having her on the team, and that is I don't know where to use her. Alright, so let's have a look at everything that Candace is able to do, which is that she's going to be buffing your active normal attack elemental damage by 20% and hydro infusion. That is going to be the main thing she's doing, as well as additional parrying skill, which unless you master her skill just as if you're mastering Beidou's, it would be rather hard to fully utilize the parrying skill. So looking at this, on top of the normal attack buff, which is already a pretty niche buff where basically only Yunjin is specialized in at this point, but that's not all. Her hydro infusion just take her niche to the next level, because now not only that she will work with normal attack character only, but most of them will have to be either hydro or they are not affected by hydro infusion. Or if you want any fun build, you can go for that as well, but those builds won't actually be any meta. So to actually understand how niche she is, we can directly look into which character she can work with at this point in time, in which there are gonna be character who uses normal attack. And those characters at this point are gonna be first Ayato. Hu Tao will have the potential to use her normal attack. Child can make use of normal attack buff as well. Yoimiya obviously is one of the best candidate in terms of normal attack buff. There's also gonna be a little bit of Ito. Eula uses her normal attack at times. Keqing will have normal attack build, as well as Ayaka. So for Eula, Keqing and Ayaka, they can make use of normal attack pretty well. However, with Candace having hydro infused, this is basically impossible for them to be used with Candace unless you want to turn these characters into hydro. So the only 5 characters that I can see right now which can make use of Candace are gonna be Ayato, Hu Tao, Child, Yoimiya, and a little bit of Ito, in which these are gonna be the usual best team that the character runs in. Now, as you can see, apart from Ito, who can have Candace placed in his team because usually he runs with Goro and 3 Geo character team, and then the last slot is pretty flexible. The other 4 characters, their teams are pretty much set because they've already found their 3 best support character, which makes it very hard for Candace to actually find a place to replace any of these support characters. In Ayato's team, the best place that you can put Candace in would be in Yunjin's place, in which I would say it's gonna be okay, but if your Yunjin is already have high constellation, then Candace is definitely not gonna be worth it. Hu Tao, obviously her normal attack gameplay is not her forte because she is a charge attack user, but if you want to change up her playstyle a lot, for example, we can swap out Yelan in place with Candace, and I guess that would be okay. Running with Child, if you're focusing on his normal attack gameplay, then maybe we can have Child, Candace, Dendro MC, and then Kuki Shinobu for basically a Hyper Bloom gameplay. And then Yoimiya, obviously she won't be able to take advantage of Hydro Infusion as she's a bow character. But then once again, the best place that Candace can be on Yoimiya's team is just to take out Yunjin and place her in. So when we're looking at this, it's not just that Candace is a niche niche support character, but on top of that, her competition is really fierce because any of the character that she can work with has already had their team pretty much set in place. So using Candace now is just gonna be on top of preferences, or if you're having basically a very high constellation Candace. So then after all this, what left would Candace have? In which I would say there is another potential that Candace can be really good at, which is we're gonna be building a DPS Candace, right? Because she has pretty good normal attack scaling, plus her burst buff does give her the active boost as well, which makes Candace DPS a pretty viable option. But then of course this comes down a lot to player preferences. While it's been a while since we have a good DPS 4-star potential, so it isn't really gonna be too bad if we're gonna build DPS Candace. So artifacts wise for DPS Candace normally would be 4-piece Heart of Death. Either that or you can run 2-piece Tenacity with 2-piece Emblem Fate. That gives her a 20% more HP, therefore increasing her damage overall as well, and getting her more energy recharge as she does want her burst on a lot. So this can be used for DPS build as well as support build whenever you want. Other than that, for support you can also run Noblesse, but if you've already got other character on your team using Noblesse Oblige, then you can just run the other options. Now as far as her stats artifacts, if you are using a DPS build, then you can go with HP Sands, Hydro Cup, and then Crit Circlet. Now if you are missing on energy recharge stat, then you can run with energy recharge Sands, HP Cup, and then Crit Circlet. And if you want to go with a full support HP Candace, then you can definitely go with all 3 of the HP artifacts. You do keep in mind that she will want at least 150 energy recharge and above so that she can comfortably have her burst up. Weapon wise, Candace have really good free to play options. The main candidate of increasing HP is gonna be the Black Tassel because it gives her up to a 46% HP increase, and since her stats are scale off of HP, this is very good. However, if you have a spare Staff of Homa on your account and you want to build a DPS Candace, that is perfect as it gives an extra 20% HP increase on top of the insane stats that it already gives. Skyward Spine is a pretty good option, also increasing the energy recharge because she wants that, as well as crit rate and normal attack speed increase, so that's pretty perfect for Candace. Other good 4-star option is Faf Lance, because once again Candace would love energy recharge, and that I would say is basically some of her best option. I wouldn't be really thinking about any other even if you're running a DPS Candace, because you know the Black Tassel for free to play is already absolutely fantastic. So overall at this current point, I would say that Candace potential is pretty limited because as we've discussed above, the character that can be used with her is very few due to her unique skill of Hydro Infusion, plus she is already under a very fierce competition. So for future meta, what is needed for Candace to be good, I would say, is that we need more character who uses normal attack, or character that uses their skill and burst to buff their current normal attack, like for example how Ayato has in his kit. That way there can be more potential to have Candace be used on our team. So those are my current analysis on Candace. Now let me know what your point of view is with Candace here in this current meta. So feel free to drop your comment down below in the comment section and I will get to you there. I hope that the video have been very enjoyable to you, and once again guys, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and join the Discord server to enter our next giveaway once patch 3.1 banners drop. And so with that guys, I wish you a super day and I will catch you on my next video.